Ever wondered what would happen if the world went full-on zombie apocalypse? I mean, really wondered? Not just a how would I survive kind of wonder, but the historical has this ever happened before kind. Because, believe it or not, the idea of the undead rising isn't just a Hollywood fantasy. It's a primal fear, a deeply ingrained terror, woven into the very fabric of human history. Today, on Starborn Secrets, we're delving into the chilling, often unsettling history of zombie lore, exploring the real-world inspirations, the whispers and shadows behind the undead nightmare. Get ready, because this isn't just a scary story. It's a history lesson, a cryptic exploration you won't soon forget. The zombie myth isn't some modern invention, some fleeting fad. Its roots run deep, impossibly deep, stretching back centuries, entwined with ancient, often unsettling beliefs about death, resurrection, and the restless dead. Think about it. Cultures across the globe, from the sun-drenched shores of Haiti to the ancient, crumbling ruins of Greece, have whispered stories, shared chilling tales of the walking dead. Creepy, right? But where did these stories come from? What sparked these terrifying visions? Well, some trace the zombie's origins to Haitian voodoo practices, where the zombie is a person believed to be revived after death, often under the chilling control of a sorcerer. Others point to ancient myths and folklore, tales of vengeful spirits returning from the grave, seeking retribution, feeding on the living. But there's something else, something more sinister, something darker, whispered about in hushed tones, in dimly lit corners of forgotten libraries. A connection to something older, something that predates even recorded history, a primal fear that lurks in the collective unconscious of humanity. But it wasn't until the 20th century, the age of flickering lights and burgeoning technology, that the zombie truly shambled, dripping and moaning, into popular culture. George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead in 1968 changed everything. It wasn't just scary. It was a social commentary, a mirror reflecting the anxieties of a nation grappling with war, social unrest, and the ever-present, looming fear of nuclear annihilation. Sound familiar? Replace nuclear annihilation with, say, global pandemic, and suddenly Romero's zombie nightmare feels eerily, disturbingly relevant. Anyone else getting the chills? But Romero's inspiration, where did he get his ideas? The whispers say he stumbled upon something he wasn't meant to see. A forgotten manuscript? A cryptic artifact? The truth, like the undead themselves, remains shrouded in shadow. And here's where history gets really interesting, where the lines between fact and fiction blur, where the whispers become screams. Throughout history, pandemics have ravaged populations, leaving behind a trail of death and devastation, a grim reminder of our mortality. These real-life horrors, with their grotesque symptoms and widespread mortality, likely fueled the fear, the primal terror of the walking dead. Imagine witnessing your loved one succumb to a mysterious, unseen illness, their bodies ravaged, their minds gone. It's not hard to see how such experiences could give rise to legends, to chilling tales of the undead. But what if it wasn't just disease? What if it was something else? Something that used disease as a mask, a convenient cover, for its own nefarious purposes? Something ancient. Something hungry. Okay, deep breath. Let's lighten the mood for a second. I mean, all this talk of zombies and plagues, of ancient evils and hidden secrets, is getting a bit heavy, right? But seriously, though, if a zombie apocalypse did happen, would you rather fight fast zombies or slow zombies? Let me know in the comments, because you might just need that information sooner than you think. The lines are blurring, the shadows are deepening, and the whispers are growing louder. Fast forward to the 21st century, our age of information overload and instant gratification, and the zombie apocalypse is more popular than ever. From blockbuster movies to hit TV shows, the undead are everywhere, shambling across our screens, invading our imaginations. But the modern zombie has evolved. We've got fast zombies, rage zombies, even intelligent zombies. It's like they're constantly upping their game, adapting, becoming more efficient. And honestly, it's terrifyingly entertaining. But why are we so obsessed? Why this fascination with the macabre? Is it just entertainment, a harmless thrill, or is something deeper at play? Are we being prepared? Conditioned even? For what, you ask? That's the question that keeps me awake at night. But beyond the entertainment value, beyond the jump scares and gore, the zombie apocalypse continues to resonate with us because it taps into our deepest, most primal fears. The fear of death, the inevitable end, the fear of losing control, of surrendering our humanity, and the fear of societal collapse, of watching the world as we know it crumble into dust. It's a way for us to explore these fears in a safe space, to imagine how we would react in a worst-case scenario, a world overrun by the undead. Would we be heroes, rising to the challenge, fighting for survival? Will we be survivors, cunning and ruthless, doing whatever it takes to stay alive? Or would we, dramatic pause, a chilling whisper, become one of them? The answer, it seems, is hidden, buried beneath layers of myth and misinformation, waiting to be unearthed. And let's be real, the world today isn't exactly a picture of stability, a beacon of hope. We're facing unprecedented challenges, from the looming threat of climate change to the insidious creep of political polarization. It's easy to feel like the world is on the brink of some kind of catastrophe, some global tipping point. And in that context, the zombie apocalypse becomes more than just a metaphor for our anxieties, a way for us to grapple with the possibility of a world turned upside down. Or is it more than a metaphor? What if it's a warning, a prophecy, etched in blood and bone, waiting to be fulfilled? So, where were we? Ah, yes, the chilling truth behind the zombie apocalypse. We've journeyed through the labyrinth of myths, explored the unsettling legends, and examined the real-world horrors that have fueled our enduring fascination with the undead. But now, it's time to peel back the layers of deception, to delve into the heart of the mystery, to uncover the secrets that have remained hidden in the shadows for far too long. Prepare yourselves, because the truth, as it so often does, is far more terrifying than fiction. Remember those whispers, those hushed tones passed down through generations, about something older, something that predates even recorded history? They weren't mere superstition, the ramblings of frightened minds. They were fragmented pieces of a puzzle, cryptic clues scattered throughout history, waiting to be assembled. The truth, in its stark and horrifying reality, is that the zombie apocalypse isn't a singular event, a modern phenomenon. It's a recurring nightmare, a cyclical catastrophe, a dark and terrible pattern that has plagued humanity since the very dawn of civilization, a chilling testament to the fragility of our existence. Those ancient myths, those chilling tales of vengeful spirits and restless dead, passed down through countless generations, whispered around flickering campfires and etched into crumbling tablets. They weren't just stories, fanciful inventions designed to scare children. They were distorted and embellished accounts, fragmented memories of actual events. Events that were deliberately, meticulously obscured, buried beneath layers of superstition and folklore, shrouded in the mists of time to protect something ancient, something powerful, something that humanity, in its naivete, was not ready to face. And those pandemics, those real-world horrors that have decimated populations throughout history, leaving behind a trail of death and despair, a grim reminder of our own mortality, they weren't simply natural occurrences, random acts of a cruel and indifferent universe. They were orchestrated, not by some shadowy cabal of scientists or power-hungry governments, manipulating events from behind the scenes. No, the puppet master is far older, far more powerful, far more terrifying than any human conspiracy. Remember Romero's inspiration, that something he stumbled upon, that spark that ignited his vision of the modern zombie? It wasn't a forgotten manuscript, a cryptic artifact, or some whispered secret. It was a truth, a terrifying, soul-shattering truth, that had been buried, deliberately buried, for millennia. The truth about the source of the zombie plague: it's not a virus, some mutated strain of influenza, a biological weapon gone awry. It's not a disease, some mysterious ailment that science has yet to understand. It's a consciousness, an ancient, malevolent consciousness, a primordial entity that exists on a different plane of reality, a dimension beyond our comprehension, a consciousness that feeds on fear, on despair, on the very life force of humanity, drawing strength from our terror, our suffering. And it uses pandemics, natural disasters, wars, any form of chaos, any crack in the fabric of reality, as a conduit, a way to manifest itself in our world, to awaken its dormant armies, to unleash its legions of the damned, those intelligent zombies, those evolved undead we see in modern fiction, those creatures that display cunning and strategy, that seem to learn and adapt. They're not just a product of creative imagination, a flight of fancy from the minds of writers and filmmakers. They're a glimpse of the future, a chilling, horrifying preview of what's to come, a terrifying foreshadowing of our grim destiny. As the consciousness grows stronger, as it feeds on the fear and chaos of our world, as it draws closer to our reality, the undead will become more intelligent, more organized, more relentless, more unstoppable. And that obsession we have with the zombie apocalypse, that constant fascination with the macabre, that morbid curiosity that draws us to stories of the undead, it's not just entertainment, a harmless thrill, a way to escape the mundane realities of our lives. It's a form of preparation, subconscious conditioning. The consciousness is using our own fear, our own fascination, our own morbid curiosity to pave the way for its arrival, to soften the blow, to make us receptive. That feeling, that nagging sense that the world is on the brink of catastrophe, that something terrible is about to happen, it's not just anxiety about climate change or political turmoil, the usual worries that plague our modern minds. It's a premonition, a deep-seated, primal sense that something terrible is about to be unleashed upon the world. The zombie apocalypse isn't just a metaphor, a symbolic representation of our anxieties and fears. It's a prophecy, a chilling, terrifying prophecy that's about to be fulfilled. And the scariest part? It's not just about the undead, the shambling hordes, the grotesque figures that haunt our nightmares. It's about what they represent, the complete and utter annihilation of everything we know, everything we cherish, everything that makes us human, the end of humanity as we know it. But even in the face of such overwhelming horror, even as the darkness closes in, there is still a glimmer of hope, a tiny spark of defiance, because humanity, despite its flaws, despite its fears, despite its propensity for self-destruction, possesses an indomitable spirit, a will to survive that burns brighter than any darkness, a resilience that has carried us through countless trials and tribulations. And it's that spirit, that resilience, that will be our only chance against the coming storm, our only weapon against the ancient evil that threatens to consume us all. The war is coming, and it will be a war unlike any other, a war for the very soul of humanity, a war for our survival. Subscribe for more true crime, horror, and mystery content. Turn on notifications, because in the world you never know what's lurking in the dark.